at first glance the things doesn't look so good. Here everything seems fine, but if we go through along the book, we're going to see that strange thing out of there, which doesn't look that it should be there. So I'm not sure what is this, but probably is a part of the bearing. So yeah, the things doesn't look so promising. And what else? Until I continue disassembling, yeah. Actually I don't saw this, but in the oil pump suction tube we have more of this. So the things doesn't look so promising. And as much as I can see, this is coming from a main bearing, which is pretty bad news. Most likely the cylinder block is going to be bad. It's much better if you have problem with the conrod bearing, because you're going to change only the crankshaft and the bearings of the conrods and everything is going to be fine. But if you have a failed main bearing, probably you're going to need to change the cylinder block. Now I'm going to continue disassembling just to see what's happening, but yeah, the things doesn't look so promising, and yeah, maybe really bad news for the owner. So I'm going to continue disassembling everything. Okay, I'm going to try to remove the oil pump. I'm just going to leave the timing chain for the oil pump hanging down. It's not big of a deal. So now the reinforcement. Let me clean up a little bit. Just for you guys to look a little bit cleaner. So to have a little bit better view what I'm doing. Let's remove the reinforcement plate. Okay, now what you guys prefer? To get straight to the problematic bearing or start doing them one by one? As we can see, BMW still keep the tradition of marking the main bearing caps. Let me show you. Pretty cool. BMW have marked every main bearing cap with a number 7654321, so to not mess them up. So now I'm going to remove them. Yeah, actually I'm going to directly start with the problem bearing just to see what's happening. Okay, it's a little bit tight. Okay, so So let's see what we have. Spin out bearing for sure. The cap, yeah, it has some damage on the sides. You guys think what I'm seeing? It has some damage on the sides, as we can see. So for sure the bearing spun out. Or not. It looks pretty bad. So this is how the bearing looks like. One of the main bearings. So yeah, pretty bad. Now I'm going to disassemble everything, so to be able to see what is happening underneath the crankshaft. But I'm pretty sure that we're going to have some damage in the cylinder block tunnel for the crankshaft. Not sure how to call it actually. It's not tunnel for sure. Something else it should be called. But as you can see, the crankshaft looks pretty bad. On this bearing especially. Let me show you. As we can see, we have scarfing all over the place. I have seen worse actually, but yeah. This is most likely why the engine was seizing. So now I'm going to start removing all the caps for the main bearings, probably for the con rods. I'm going to try to remove the crankshaft, but for that I'm going to need to remove the timing chain. As we saw, I have removed the oil pump chain, but I'm going to need to remove the cover for the timing chains, and going to need to remove the chain for the crankshaft between the high pressure fuel pump and the crankshaft, also to be able to remove the whole crankshaft. Само трябва да се изчисти.
Мукай за цялата смасла и...
Там. Отзад. So this is the bolt guides, which we are not going to use right now. Actually, this car should be with the change timing chains, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just going to leave this on their places, like that. This I'm going to leave here. Now we have a lot of slack in the chain, but still, of course, I'm not going to be able to remove it from the crankshaft. Okay, so I decided to remove the chain because it's going to be much more easier by removing the gear of the high pressure fuel pump. Still, I didn't record it because I'm not planning to do some detailed videos how to do the timing chains on this engine. I'm going to do a totally different video about this, which is going to be much more detailed. But yeah, pretty much I removed everything, the tensioner on the side, the two plastic guides, and after that the gear, so to be able to remove the chain. Because it's going to be much more easier like that, because the crankshaft is really heavy and it's going to be hard to maneuver it around the chain. So I have made my markings just pointing the front of the engine. It's not necessary, but I like to do it like that, and as I told you, I have numbers on the main bearings, and on the con rod bearings I have made my own markings. So now I'm going to undo all the main bearings and the con rods, and I'm going to remove the crankshaft, and we're going to see how everything looks like. Okay, so I have removed all the main bearings and the con rod bearing caps, and the things, yeah, probably tomorrow I'm going to film it because now the sun is not in our favor, but The crankshaft looks pretty bad, especially here and here. And actually I cannot remove this bearing right now. Probably going to remove it when we remove the crankshaft. And yeah, actually the conrod bearings look pretty bad actually. So we have 3 in total rotated bearings. I'm not sure is rotating the right name for this, but on these 3 main caps it looks pretty bad. Now we're going to try to remove the crankshaft. So yeah, let me see how it looks from below. Yeah, doesn't look so good. It looks like that something were here. This is here, that's something been here. Yeah, this came all together.
Той леко е наранен, май. Не.
Кое?
Струва ми се, че е наранен така, ама може и да е. Като ги сме хубаво, ще видим.
То хвърли беше?
Да. Да, наранен е.
Yeah, it has some marking from the spinning. So it's going to be hard to see it on camera, but it has some marking for spinning here. So yeah, it doesn't look so promising. And here, yeah, here's the same. Hold on, да не сбуташ чело. And the other thing which I saw, which is kind of bizarre, is that oil nozzle is broken on cylinder number 2. And actually the nozzle itself, I saw it in some of the pistons. Where it was? Yeah, I saw it on some of the pistons, but now I cannot locate it. Yeah, it's right there. So right there is the oil nozzle, the nozzle itself. So right there. So this is the part of this nozzle here. So I'm not sure why this broke down.
Да.
Not sure why this happened, because we didn't have some damage in the conrod or something else, but yeah, this was broken. Probably because of something metallic. I'm not sure what happened there. But 99% that this cylinder block is not going to be used, and we're going to need to search for some new bottom end for this N57. I'm going to talk to the customer. He's going to decide what he's going to do in the end of the day. Tomorrow I'm going to show you the bearings, because right now the sun is not in our favor. But yeah, it's pretty bad, and for sure this cylinder block is for the garbage. Okay, so on the other day, a little bit better whitening. So yesterday I showed you the main bearings, how bad they look like. Now I'm going to show you the conrod bearings. Let me see which were the worst. Yeah, this has somewhere for sure. We had one. Yeah, this one doesn't look so good also. Let me see, they were one pretty bad. This one doesn't look very good. So yeah, pretty much all the conrod bearings look pretty bad. But the main problem is the main bearings. This is one of them. This is how it looks like one of them. One which made some issue in the cylinder block. And the other one is this one with the axial and the radial. It looks pretty bad. So yeah, major engine issue, no doubt about it. I'm not going to show you all the bearing because it's boring, but the worst one was this, no doubt about it. This one was the worst one. And as I told you, we're probably going to search for a new cylinder block with crankshaft. Now probably I'm going to remove the cylinder head because I want to check how the camshaft ledges look like. Do we have any damage there? Because if some metallic debris go through the oil filter, probably it's going to damage the camshafts. So I'm going to check how the cylinder head camshaft ledges are looking like. Hopefully it's going to be okay. And after that we're going to start searching for engine probably. Really bad news for the owner, but nothing we can do about it. So let me continue disassembling the engine, and I'm going to show you how it looks like. Okay, so the both camshafts are removed, the intake and the exhaust. This is the caps for them, and actually they doesn't look so good. All the journals are looking pretty bad, and the nail test fails on most of them. So the things doesn't look so good and promising. Even here we have some deeper damage. But yeah, this is the caps, how they look like. As you can see, we have scarfing even on them. So yeah, actually the bed of the camshafts are looking pretty good on most of them. As you can see how how the cap should look like, that smooth. And just for quick comparison, this is how one of the bed looks like, and let me show you the caps with the scarfing on them. So pretty much everything is everything looks pretty bad. Yeah, I believe on this bed it looks kind of bad. Hopefully we're going to be able to see it on camera. But yeah, it looks pretty bad. All the others look good. But you cannot buy only this, you need to buy the whole piece. The bed of the camshafts plus the caps, they come together. It's not a good idea to mix it. Let's say to buy only the caps and use the old bed for the camshafts. As you're probably going to know, it's going to make some alignment problem, and the camshafts are going to make some tension. So in the perfect situation, you're going to want to buy the bed of the camshafts plus all the caps together. So in few words, if the car was mine, I was going to change the whole engine. I'm not going to reuse. Yeah, probably the cylinder head itself is going to be fine. The valves and the rocker arms, the springs and everything else is pretty much okay. But if you buy everything separately, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. Probably if you buy a whole unit, it's going to be cheaper. That's why I'm saying if it was me, I was going to buy a whole engine, because probably it's going to be cheaper than buying everything separately. The whole bottom end of the engine plus the camshafts. So the next thing which I'm going to do is to open up the pump. Actually these pumps are tube pumps all together. The vacuum pump plus the oil pump is in one piece. So I'm going to open up the oil pump and we're going to see how it looks like inside. So let's do some inspection. Do we have something bad? Okay, I'm going to start by removing the gear. Reverse thread. So, okay, I'm going to remove the gear. It has a notch, how to install it. So it only goes one way. Yeah, it has a front marking. Yeah, you're not seeing anything. It has a front marking. So once again, this bolt is a reverse thread. So now we're going to remove this somehow. Okay, like that. And now I'm going to undo all these bolts. Actually, let me remove the pickup tube. So once again, if you're changing your suction pipe or removing it, it's a good idea to change this O-ring. And as you can see, yeah, you're probably not going to be able to see it. Probably going to need to take some white. It's going to be really hard to film it, but as you can see, we have some additional metals inside. From here I don't see anything. Okay, like that. Okay. So now I'm going to clean up the both gears and we're going to see do we have any wear in them. So this is the both gears which we have removed from the oil pump, and actually they don't look so bad. I have seen much worse than this, and yeah, on some places there's some minor scarfing, but nothing crazy. So we have some notches here, small scarfings, but nothing crazy. Actually, once again, they don't look so bad. But if we look the body of the oil pump, so I'm trying to pointing you this part where the one of the gears is rotating. Let me show you. So this is the gear where it's rotational point, and as you can see it makes compression here, and as we can see it has a lot of scarfing there. So probably this was one of the issue of the oil pump, and we have scarfing on the other side too, on the wall.
Екстра.
Зараз?
Не.
So yeah, probably you can see it here. It's a little bit hard to film it with camera because it's focused the center pivot, but it has a lot of scarfing on the walls when where the gears are moving. So yeah, this oil pump is for change for sure. I just removed the vacuum pump to show you how it looks from behind. It has this plastic here which is rotating with the oil pump itself, but yeah, the gears itself doesn't look so bad, but the walls of the body of the oil pump is kind of bad. So for sure we're going to need to change the oil pump too. For now I'm going to wait the owner to see what he's going to decide to do with this engine, and yeah, I'm going to keep you posted. Okay, conclusions. The owner decided to go with a new engine. By new engine I mean second-hand unit. He decided to buy a whole new engine, which is probably the best idea in this case. And I don't see the point of filming the installation of a piece of metal. We're just going to transfer some parts from his engine. We are not even going to transfer the timing chains and stuff like this. We're just going to put the new engine inside the car, which is pretty straightforward. So I don't see a point of filming this. Just I'm going to say a few words about the thing that I think caused all of these issues. So probably the reason is the breakdown oil nozzle on cylinder number 2, which is right here, which I showed you earlier in the video. This is how it should look like, and this is how it looks like here. And why I think this is the reason, because let me show you the breakdown part. So this is the part which break down, and as you can see the diameter from on the front of the nozzle and the breakdown part, as you can see the size of the tube is much bigger than here. So for sure we're going to drip some oil, which means that we're going to lose a lot of oil pressure with breakdown oil nozzle. I cannot be 100% sure that this can cause such an issue, but this is the only thing that I can figure out that can cause it. Because the owner told me that he have changed the oil pump previously and the bearings and everything, so I doubt the oil pump failed. As we saw, we had some wear on the body, but nothing drastic and excessive. So in my opinion, probably this caused all the issues. Probably in the previous assembly of the engine, they heated little bit this nozzle and bent it a little bit, and from the vibrations of the engine it fell down. Or I cannot figure out anything else because I did not find anything in the oil pan which can break down this oil nozzle. The small parts from the bearings are too thin and too wide, and they cannot break this nozzle for sure. So I believe in the previous assembly probably they bended the nozzle a little bit, and this weakened up the metal, and from the vibrations little by little probably fall down. So this is my opinion. Yeah, of course can be something else, but I'm just thinking out loud. So we're going to end up the video probably here. I don't see any point, as I told you, to film the installation of the new engine. I just wanted to show you how a failed engine like this is looking like, and how we remove the engines. And the thing that I'm going to try to figure out in the future is how to install M57 high pressure fuel pump on the place of the original N57 high pressure fuel pump. So this is the newer type, CP4 high pressure fuel pump. This is the CP3, I believe it was, high pressure fuel pump, which are bulletproof and they don't fail ever. They're going to last forever. But these ones, the newer generation of high pressure fuel pumps, has a lot of issues because of the aluminum body. They fail all the time, and when the body fails, it fills up the injectors and everything else with aluminum particles, and you can imagine what happens after that. You're going to need to change all the injectors, the high pressure fuel pump, the press supply pump in the reservoir, so it's around 5,000 or 6,000 euro of repair. That's why I'm trying to figure out how to install this bulletproof older generation high pressure fuel pump. It should work out. I just need to figure out how to install it because it has a lot of differences in it. But if I find a way, it's going to be so much more reliable than this thing, which I'm pretty sure that they designed it like that, so to sell much more parts after warranty. So okay guys, as I told you, I'm going to end up the video here. Hopefully it's going to be helpful for some of you guys. So in the next video probably we're going to change the timing chains of this car. So as I promised you, I'm going to do a video like this. So we're going to end it here. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.